Have you ever felt the weight of the world pressing down on you? That feeling of being utterly alone, even in a crowded room? What if the person you least expected, the one you barely noticed, saw that pain and chose to act? Today's story is about a man who walked among his employees, not as a boss, but as a silent observer, witnessing a struggle that would shake him to his core. But before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from? It helps us to know how far these stories travel, bridging hearts across the globe, and also hit the like button to show your presence. Now, let's dive in and see how this story unfolds. In the bustling town of Oak Ridge, nestled amongst rows of car dealerships, stood Auto World, a place where dreams of shiny new vehicles often turned into the harsh reality of sales quotas and cutthroat competition. Behind the polished showroom and the gleaming chrome, a man named Leo, the owner, decided to walk among his employees undercover as a regular car salesman. He yearned to see the truth, the raw, unfiltered experience of his staff, to understand what truly happened on the sales floor. He needed to know, was the pressure to sell crushing the very spirit of his employees? Was the company he had built from the ground up turning into a place of despair? Leo, disguised as Mike, a new, slightly clumsy salesman, started his first day. He was met with the usual mix of skepticism and forced smiles. One of the veteran salesmen, a man named Jared, with a slick-back hairstyle and an air of practiced charm, took him under his wing, or so it seemed. A young woman, named Anya, with tired eyes and a quiet demeanor, also worked there. She was diligent, but seemed to carry a heavy burden. The first few days were a blur of fake enthusiasm and relentless pressure. Jared was a master of manipulation, pushing customers into deals they couldn't afford, using every trick in the book. Anya, on the other hand, was honest and genuine, but her sales were suffering. Leo, as Mike, observed it all, a silent witness to the daily grind. He saw the desperation in the eyes of the customers, the forced smiles of the staff, and the constant, underlying tension. One afternoon, a customer named Mr. Davies, a middle-aged man with a weary look, walked in. He was looking for a reliable, affordable car for his family. Jared, sensing an easy target, swooped in. He painted a picture of luxury and power, pushing Mr. Davies towards a high-end SUV, far beyond his budget. Mr. Davies, overwhelmed by the sales pitch, began to waver. Anya, who had been watching from a distance, couldn't stand it anymore. She stepped in, gently guiding Mr. Davies towards a more practical, budget-friendly option. Jared, furious, shot her a venomous look, but Anya stood her ground. Mr. Davies, relieved, thanked her and agreed to the deal. Jared, however, was not done. Later that day, Jared confronted Anya in the back office. "You think you're so smart, don't you?" he sneered. "Ruining my deals, showing me up in front of a customer. You'll pay for this." Anya, her voice trembling, told him to leave her alone. Jared, however, was relentless. He began to make accusations, twisting the truth, claiming Anya was sabotaging his sales. Leo, as Mike, witnessed the entire exchange, his anger simmering. The next day, Mr. Davies returned, his face flushed with anger. He had discovered hidden fees and inflated prices in the contract. He felt cheated, betrayed. He demanded to speak to the manager. Jared, sensing trouble, tried to brush him off, but Mr. Davies was adamant. He threatened to sue Auto World, to expose their deceptive practices. Leo, as Mike, stepped forward. "Sir," he said, his voice calm but firm, "I'm sure we can resolve this. Let's talk about it." He listened to Mr. Davies' concerns, his heart sinking as he heard the details of the fraudulent deal. He knew Jared had crossed a line. Later that day, Leo called a meeting with the entire sales team. He removed his disguise, revealing his true identity. The room fell silent, the air thick with tension. He spoke, his voice filled with a mixture of disappointment and resolve. He addressed the deceptive practices, the pressure tactics, the manipulation. He spoke of the importance of honesty, integrity, and respect for the customer. He then turned to Jared. "Jared," he said, his voice cold, "your actions have betrayed the trust of our customers and tarnished the reputation of this company. You're fired." Jared, his face pale, tried to protest, but Leo cut him off. "There's no room for people like you here." He then turned to Anya. "Anya," he said, his voice softening, "you showed integrity, even when it was difficult. You stood up for what's right, even when it meant facing the wrath of a colleague. You are a true asset to this company." He then announced that Anya was being promoted to a senior sales position, recognizing her honesty and ethical conduct. He then addressed the entire group. We are here to sell cars, yes, but we are also here to build trust, to help people find a vehicle that fits their needs. We are here to make a positive impact, not to exploit the vulnerable. We are here to create a community, not a war zone. He then announced new policies, ensuring transparency and fairness, and a zero-tolerance policy for deceptive practices. Mr. Davies, who had been watching the meeting from the back, stepped forward. "Mr. Leo," he said, "I'm impressed. You've shown that you care about your customers and your employees. I'm willing to give AutoWorld another chance." Leo smiled, extending his hand. "Thank you, Mr. Davies. We won't let you down." As the days turned into weeks, AutoWorld began to change. The atmosphere was lighter, the tension gone. The sales team worked together, supporting each other and treating customers with respect. Anya thrived in her new role, her honesty and kindness earning her the trust of everyone she encountered. Leo, watching from his office, felt a sense of pride. He had transformed his company, not through power or authority, but through empathy and understanding. One evening, as Leo was leaving the office, Anya approached him. "Mr. Leo," she said, her voice filled with gratitude, "thank you. You gave me a chance when no one else would. You believed in me." Leo smiled. "Anya," he said, "you earned it. You showed me that even in the darkest of places, there is always light. And remember, sometimes the greatest strength comes from the quietest voices." The story of Leo and Anya reminds us that true leadership is not about power or control. It's about empathy, integrity, and the courage to stand up for what's right. It's about seeing the humanity in everyone and creating a workplace where everyone feels valued and respected. Remember, your actions have the power to create a ripple effect, to change lives, to make the world a better place. Don't underestimate the impact of kindness, honesty, and courage. And remember, sometimes the best lessons are learned when you walk in someone else's shoes. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.